At Kurose's school, there was a senior student that everyone feared, and she was listening to Kurose being bullied into cleaning the infirmary yet again. As the bullies laughed at him, Kurose cursed the fact that he was timid but wished one day to be strong enough to fight back against them. As he thought that, the bullies and himself were startled when a sudden voice called out. It turned out to be Haimiya, who had been resting and sat up and told all the boys that they were being noisy for a long time now. With a murderous glare, Haimiya told them all to leave quickly, or else she'll be the last thing they see. The gang of bullies were terrified, but Kurose only looked shocked, as the rumored Haimiya was here and being as scary as the rumor suggested. The bullies apologized and fled, but Kurose didn't. He recalled how Haimiya often skipped classes to hang out in the infirmary, and he only rarely talked to her since Kurose was a member of the health committee. Just then, Haimiya noticed that Kurose was still there, and that caught her attention. As if a different person had appeared before him, Haimiya warmly greeted Kurose, her cheeks turning a slight red and a smile bright on her face. With a chuckle, she asked if he was being forced to clean again. Seeing how kind she was to him and how cute she looked, Kurose went a vibrant red but tried to hide it while answering her. Moving closer, she asked what was wrong, but his innocent heart couldn't take both the cuteness of Haimiya being so close and the kindness she showed, and he melted, causing Haimiya to worry about what was happening to him. Kurose recalled the rumor that Haimiya is a scary girl at school, but he started to think that she's not, since she was kind to him often and she helped him with cleaning the day before. However, his musings were interrupted by a noisy gang of lads that were blocking the street. Just as he lamented the fact that they were already being a hassle this early in the morning, he heard footsteps quickly approaching. It turned out to be Haimiya, and she was also annoyed by the gang of guys blocking the way. With a nasty glare, she demanded them to move, adding that they shouldn't block the whole street. Watching it all go down, Kurose took back what he said about Haimiya being not so scary, as she had terrified the lads so much that they had already fled from the scene. But as he thought this, Haimiya turned and was surprised to see Kurose just standing there. Realizing that it was him, Haimiya brightened up and happily asked if Kurose wanted to walk with her to school. He blushed and agreed, doing another 180 on his opinion of her. As they walked together, Kurose realized that they finally have interacted outside of the school infirmary, and it felt weird. He also felt all the stares they were getting and believed that something was being misunderstood, so he should clear it. Embarrassed, Kurose blurted out a question. Why is Haimiya being so kind to him? With a smile, a blush, and a knowing look, Haimiya asked what Kurose thought would be the reason that she is so kind to him. Kurose went even redder, as he believed that Haimiya might have feelings for him, but as she watched him stutter and panic, she couldn't contain herself and began to chuckle. With a playful smile, she told him that he always cleans the infirmary, so that's why she was kind. Kurose continued to be red-faced, but now from embarrassment, as Haimiya had made an excuse for them to drop the topic and leave. Kurose believed that today was a win and a loss, and didn't further the conversation. On their way to school, Haimiya stopped to point out a cute kitty, while Kurose just continued to question why she was so nice to him. As he agreed with Haimiya, two students knocked him to the ground, stunning Haimiya and Kurose. The boys apologized insincerely and tried to run off, but Haimiya grabbed them before they could. With a mean glare, Haimiya demanded they apologize properly, and the terrified boys didn't dare to say no. With an unnatural intensity, the boys apologized and Kurose accepted, while thinking about how scary Haimiya can be. Once the boys had fled, a worried expression formed on Haimiya's face as she asked if he was okay. He tried to say that he was fine, but he saw his hands and noticed they were bleeding. Haimiya seemed to begin to worry and told him to wash his hands in the nearby park. As Kurose's hands stung from the water, Haimiya found a plaster and told Kurose to sit down, as she was going to put it on him herself. With kind eyes, Haimiya carefully put the plaster on Kurose's injury, while he was freaking out about how soft her hands were and how pretty and close her face was. Haimiya finished up with the plaster while Kurose was mesmerized by her beauty. Looking up, she saw him zoning out and asked if he was okay. She asked if it still hurt, and realizing that he was staring, Kurose jumped and said that he was fine. Looking down at the plaster, He noticed that it was a very cutesy looking one. Arriving at the school, they were told by a teacher that they were 15 minutes late, commenting that they must have been late due to the change of the semester. Both were speechless at first, but Kurose tried to explain to the teacher and he wasn't having it. The teacher then decided to tease them a little, saying that they have more important things to do than focusing on their romance. However, Haimiya disliked his tone and was pissed. Haimiya then told the teacher that she wasn't listening since a sudden glare of light was distracting her. The teacher instantly knew that she was mocking him and called her out on it. For the attitude she showed, the teacher punished Haimiya and Kurose for it. Kurose apologized for causing them to be late, but Haimiya told him not to worry about it. As Kurose thought about how amazing Haimiya's courage was, she turned to face him, breaking him from his thoughts. With a bright and beaming smile and blush flushing her cheeks, Haimiya told Kurose that just going to school with him was still so much fun, despite everything. Those words reached his heart, and once again it fluttered for her. He knew she was scary, but more than that, she was a cutie that had captured his heart. It turned out that the punishment that Haimiya and Kurose received was to clean the pool, which he felt kinda bad having to do, but with Haimiya around, it wasn't that bad. As Kurose celebrated spending time alone with Haimiya, she told him to hurry and clean, which he quickly agreed to. But then he remembered that they were in the situation because of him, so he shouldn't be happy, and he just hoped that she wasn't mad. However, his thoughts were interrupted when Haimiya called out to him. As if she could read his mind, Haimiya commented that despite this being a punishment, she feels like it's not a bad thing, as a sweet smile was plastered on her face. Seeing this, Kurose was starstruck once again and quickly agreed with her, causing Haimiya to admit that him saying that was a relief. Returning to his thoughts, Kurose finally settled on the fact that Haimiya isn't scary, and this punishment actually might be the best opportunity to connect with her. As he began to get giddy about this opportunity and thought what questions he wanted to ask her, the chance to get closer was being slowly marched away. It turned out there were other guys assigned to clean, but they didn't care and decided to mess around, and Kurose moaned about it. He began to lament the fact that he wasn't able to spend more time alone with Haimiya, and commented on how lively and annoying the guys were being. As he looked over to Haimiya, he tried to act unbothered, telling her that the others were here to help, but she seemed to be not paying attention to him. As he looked closer, he saw that Haimiya was furious, and there was no denying it as the swirling dark aura around her was prevalent. As Kurose tried to calm her down, he realized that she doesn't like other people, but Haimiya told him that cleaning wasn't the issue right now. Still annoyed but not furious anymore, Haimiya sat there while Kurose began to put the puzzle pieces together that perhaps they both wanted the same thing, to be alone together. Then Haimiya began to speak. But as she was admitting the truth, it was literally drowned out as water was splashed all over her. It turned out that the boys had accidentally strayed too close and splashed her, and they realized they messed up. With murderous intent emanating from her, she admitted that they'll all be killed, causing them to apologize, clean, and flee. Kurose was left pondering why Haimiya was mad, as he didn't hear what she was trying to say. The boys had finally gone, and Haimiya was still annoyed about them and being soaked. Kurose agreed with her, as her issue indeed sucked, but he was also annoyed that his bonding opportunity had been taken from him with their actions. Haimiya checked herself out and decided that this all might qualify for suing, and Kurose believed that she might not be joking when she says it. Deciding to let it go, Haimiya tied up her hair since it was a soaked mess, and took off her wet jacket also. Haimiya, a smile returning to her face, announced that they should put their annoyance into their cleaning and get to work. However, Kurose saw a problem, or two. Haimiya's shirt was now translucent, and he could see everything, causing him to panic. Kurose turned away, hoping Haimiya didn't notice it gawking. Deciding the best thing to do was to cover her up, he began to take off his own jacket. With his eyes shut and red-faced, he offered his jacket to Haimiya, to which she was confused at first until she noticed the issue herself. Haimiya's face also turned red and thanked Kurose for his thoughtfulness and called him cool for it. The fact that Haimiya happily accepted his jacket was a great relief to Kurose. As she put it on, she happily declared that they should get busy and finish quick. The pair playfully bantered as they cleaned, leaving both in a good mood. However, then Kurose remembered that Haimiya was interrupted earlier and he wanted to know what she was going to say. Not wanting the thought to linger too long, Kurose directly asked what she was going to say before she was splashed by the guys. Hiding her mouth in Kurose's jacket, she told him that it's still a secret, for now anyway. Kurose pleaded with her to tell him, but she didn't say a word. As the silence began to grow, Haimiya told Kurose to go clean while smacking him with her broom. The pair then got on with the cleaning, but also played around and, overall, had a great time, laughing the whole way. After finishing, Kurose decided to change in the infirmary since the changing rooms were locked and no one else was around, so it should be fine, right? However, he was so wrong. Opening the door, he saw Haimiya changing, who was just as stunned to see him. Kurose went beet red and timidly apologized before turning to flee, but he stopped once he heard Haimiya's shuffling footsteps and her intimidating breath. He grasped onto his shoulder and told him to forget what he saw, and if he didn't, then he knows what will happen to him. Kurose fled in tears, announcing that he would forget it all, but the image was already burnt into his mind's eye, and he would never forget it. The next day, Kurose thought about how he couldn't forget what happened, but since he rushed home, he hasn't seen Haimiya since the encounter and was worried what would happen. Then he saw her, and Haimiya looked furious. But since they're closer than they were before, he should still greet her. Pumping himself up, he got ready to say something. He greeted her, but she ignored him completely, walking past him as if they never knew each other. Kurose then began to panic over Haimiya ignoring him, and believed it was all because of the day before. He called himself the worst before thinking of the nice moments, and now he's lost the newly formed bond that they had. In class, Kurose thought over his relationship with Haimiya, thinking that he overvalued it and they don't have a bond to speak of. He also questioned why she was nice to him, but she was quite vague about the reasons. But being a good man, he knew he had to apologize for walking in on her, no matter what she thinks of him, because it was the right thing to do. After class, Kurose went straight to the infirmary as he knew that she'd be there. His hunch was right and he went straight to formally apologizing to her. However, he couldn't finish as Haimiya greeted him, dropping her hood, revealing that she was wearing earbuds and glasses, along with a warm and welcoming expression on her face. Both were surprised with the situation, with Haimiya asking what was wrong while Kurose retorted asking if she wasn't mad at him about the day before, but she wasn't. Kurose explained that he called out to her earlier, but she ignored him. She thought about it for a moment and then realized the issue. Apologetically, she told him that she didn't have her contact lenses in and was wearing earbuds, so that's the reason she probably didn't notice or hear him. Kurose was left speechless, while the one apologizing was Haimiya for worrying him by not responding. Kurose then finally spoke, saying that he was glad that there wasn't a problem. With a chuckle, Haimiya did say that it was an accident, so it can't be helped, but if he doesn't forget what he saw, he's a dead man. Being honest, Kurose admitted that he was worried the whole time that she hated him, and was especially worried since they had just started to form a bond. Playfully teasing Kurose, she asked if he hated the idea of her hating him that much that he was worried to death. Realizing what he had said, he went red and tried to hide, while Haimiya just laughed at his reaction. Kurose was walking to school and couldn't help but notice how alone he was in the crowd. He overheard the students talking about a messaging app, causing him to check his own app. He realized he had no one to message as he hasn't made a single friend since he started school. Suddenly, Haimiya came to his mind, but he tried to shake off the thought of messaging her. He ended up resolving himself and decided to actually ask her for her contact information. He then imagined what would happen if he asked her for her contact info, and only a worst-case scenario entered his mind. As the thought ended, he commented to himself that Haimiya might not be like that, but then a voice questioned what he was saying. With a sweet expression, Haimiya commented that it is Kurose, and greeted him warmly. He was shocked to see her, but she only asked if he wanted to walk with her. As they walked to school, chatting away, Kurose realized that he's always thinking of Haimiya and she always appears when he does so. However, he now knew that she didn't hate him, so he should treat this situation as a normal one and ask for Haimiya's contact info. Haimiya managed to ask first, cutting off Kurose as he tried to force out the same words. Glowing red, he blushed with surprise and embarrassment, but since he didn't say yes, Haimiya questioned if he didn't want her info, causing her to get mad. Seeing the danger, Kurose quickly tried to clarify his response. He asked if it was really okay, and Haimiya told him that she couldn't contact him before when he fled quickly, so it was okay. But not only that, they are friends, so of course they should share contact info. The word friends hit Kurose hard, and it made him happier than he ever could have believed. Haimiya was happy to get Kurose's contact info and was quick to comment that he didn't have an icon for his contact. While blushing, Kurose looked at Haimiya's icon and saw that it was a cute little crying bunny, catching him off guard. Realizing that he didn't know Haimiya's first name, he commented that it was Mio, and Haimiya seemed to have a visible reaction to her name being said. He mentioned it's the first time he's heard it, and he's happy to know it now for some reason. Haimiya meanwhile had gone a vibrant shade of red, as hearing her first name being spoken aloud was something she didn't expect to hear. Kurose asked what was wrong, and Haimiya deflected the question, telling him to get moving, only causing confusion for Kurose. Walking through the halls, Kurose heard people talking about Haimiya and decided to eavesdrop. What he didn't expect was to hear them mentioning that Haimiya smokes. He was stunned to hear it and couldn't exactly believe what he had just heard with his own 2 ears. He couldn't believe it, but due to worry and to soothe his own mind, he had to find her. He asked the school nurse if he saw her, and the nurse told him that Haimiya was out in the courtyard. He went to check on her, still not believing the rumor, but wanting to hear the truth all the same. But then he saw her, cigarette in mouth and pack in hand. He was stunned to be wrong, but saw that she wasn't just smoking, but biting the cigarette also. Haimiya saw Kurose and called out to him, offering him a cigarette, surprising Kurose in so many ways. Seeing the cigarette more closely, he noticed that it was just candy, causing Haimiya to respond that she's addicted to these candies now. Relief washed over Kurose, as he was right that it was a mistake, but understood how the mistake could have started. Kurose then explained the rumor he heard, and she commented that it was an easy misunderstanding. She added that rumors always surround her, so she doesn't care and just lets the rumors flow. Kurose commented that he was glad to hear that, as he was worried about her, and worried about if she was smoking or not. The meaning behind his words weren't lost on Haimiya, and she began to chuckle. Still laughing, she asked what he would have done if she really was smoking. Kurose, panicking a little, questioned if she was smoking or not, but Haimiya just laughed and told him it was only a joke. Still sitting in the courtyard, Kurose asked if Haimiya liked koi fish since she's often here feeding them. She admitted that she didn't like them per se, but was more curious about what they are thinking about, or what the koi might taste like. Her jolly face with the odd words were scaring both Kurose and the koi, and an awkward silence began to linger. Realizing the situation was turning into a messy one, Kurose began to try and find a solution and looked up koi recipes before rattling them off to Haimiya. However, the situation only got worse as Haimiya explained that she was only joking and didn't want to know about how people cooked and ate koi. Haimiya lamented the fact that Kurose didn't get her jokes and went to feed the fish once more. Kurose sat there and thought that he couldn't understand Kansai jokes. Back home, Kurose was startled when his older sister, Sora, barged into his room asking if he was free on Sunday. He told her no, but she knew that he was lying and continued anyway. She told him that a friend ditched her plan to go to a movie with her and offered the tickets for Kurose to use. He then told her that she should ask their younger sister to go instead. It turned out that Sora already had, but their sister Umi was too busy to go. Kurose then asked what movie it was, and Sora told him that it was a horror film, suggesting that he should take both tickets and go with a friend. Kurose thought about friends and realized he only had one, Haimiya. He then believed that he couldn't ask her to go and see a movie with him. As he thought to himself that he couldn't ask her since they aren't close, a realization hit him. He realized that since horror movies are scary, and Haimiya can be scary, then it would all be okay if they saw a movie together. He then calmed himself and began to send a message, but he unexpectedly received a message from Haimiya as he was doing so. The timing was poor, and Haimiya saw that Kurose instantly read her message and commented on it, but he still hadn't replied, causing Haimiya to keep texting, and Kurose realized that he had no choice but to go all in. He asked her if she was free that Sunday, unknowingly catching Haimiya off guard. They messaged back and forth, with Kurose stressing out over every message while Haimiya was playfully teasing him. In the end, he still managed to ask her if she wanted to go and see a movie with him. Surprising him even more was the fact that she accepted his offer, and he blushed with delight, mentally thanking his sister for the opportunity. Meanwhile, Haimiya was quietly staring at her phone while lying in bed, thinking back over the text exchange she just had with Kurose. Rereading it, Haimiya blushed and couldn't believe that Kurose asked her out on a movie date, not realizing that the date part wasn't on Kurose's mind. Yet, anyway. Kurose went to his sisters and asked them something they didn't expect, that he needed help with picking out clothes for his outing on Sunday. His sisters both knew that it was because he was going out with a girl, with Sora happily rambling that her ticket wasn't wasted and that she'll help him, with Umi's aid too. Sora then offered Kurose some protection to take with him, causing him to go red before Sora told him that she'll handle everything. Sora then asked what outfit he planned to wear, and Kurose asked her to go easy on his choice. He revealed a rather bland outfit, and his sisters, knowing that he's trying to impress a girl, were stunned and praised his courage for asking them for help. Sora and Umi managed to create a look that worked for Kurose, before telling him that he had to work on his hair too. Sora told Kurose to be confident, before giving him one more piece of advice. Sora told him that when a girl is going to meet a boy she likes, she goes all out on her looks and will possibly spend hours getting ready. Sora ended by saying that even though she doesn't know his feelings towards the girl, if he thinks she's cute, say it. As Kurose thought that, Sora then shut him down by saying he doesn't even have the courage to say such a thing, and Kurose silently agreed. They wished each other goodnight, with Kurose realizing that he's actually getting more and more nervous for his date with Haimiya. Hey everyone, and thank you for watching this video. It's been a good one. Hey bud. And I quite enjoy this story, especially since, unlike a lot of other romance, this one actually they actually go on the date, and they don't just kind of mess around and like, oh, maybe I like this person for like 200 episodes. So this one is it's a good one. I quite enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed it too, and I'd like to give a special thanks to my members. You've been wonderful, and I always value your supports and the kind words you always give me. And for those that have liked, comment, subscribed, and those new subscribers, thank you very much as well. It's really appreciated, and honestly, I thought getting close to 30,000 subscribers was never going to happen, and now I'm only a few hundred away, which I honestly still can't believe it. I still can't even believe I'm past 2,000, let alone close to 30. So yeah. I don't know the best way to express it, but thank you very much, all of you, seriously. And hopefully I'll see you again soon.